Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy III for the Nintendo Famicom system. It's time for our party to head into the ancient ruins and try to find the airship Invincible. Last time we went into these ruins we couldn't get very far because there's this cave-in of adamantite. But now that we have Unei with us, she can break through the rocks with these dream world stones. So basically I guess dream world stones, if they come in contact with anything, they basically just wipe it out. So she's going to use her dream stones to remove these 4 rocks, and that'll allow us to get further into the dungeon, the cave here, these rooms. I'm getting too old for this. Hurry, the great ship Invincible waits. The gift that Noah gave Xande immortality is the greatest gift of all. Xande didn't agree. The Earth Fang is in the cave of shadows in the mountains north of Amor. The 4 fangs can destroy the statues built by the ancients that Xande is using. Xande is in the Syrcus Tower, past the statues. And we destroyed 3 of those statues, but we're gonna have to get that 4th Fang, the Earth Fang. But first we gotta get the airship Invincible. We didn't do any selling or buying items or staying at an inn because on the door to the left we're gonna meet up with the remainder of the scholars. And they're going to have some shops, some weapons and armor, and an inn that we can stay at, so I'll just use up a bunch of our high potions here. Basically use them all up, because we'll restock at the general store coming up. So, right now we're really running into mainly those zombie dragons. Ran into so many zombie dragons. Pretty much every battle I'm running into is zombie dragons. At about the 3rd floor, something important must be in these rooms. Each drawing and painting we found has a flying ship as its theme. Some merchants pilfer weapons and armor from the ruins and sell them. Yeah, once we get to like the next floor, we're gonna start running into splitting enemies, and those are the ones that like can multiply, and as long as there's room in the battle area, if you hit one, they will multiply. If you don't hit them, if you hit them with a physical attack that isn't with a dark sword. We don't have any dark swords right now. The only place that sells dark swords is this one village that we can't get to until we get the ancient airship. So we're just going to take out these splitting enemies by. You can use black magic on them. We'll be boosting with Tangeweenie and cheering with Baby Moo to build up Fang's offense. We'll also build up Tupelo's offense here by buying a second Triton Hammer. Boost up his offense there. That's really the only weapon we need. We don't need to buy any armor, but I'll show off the armor that we can get here. So it's mainly just that more diamond gear. So just sell off some bunch of stuff. Luckily there's not too much treasure in here. We don't really have to make too much inventory. And then the airship that we're going to get, the Invincible, it has its own little treasure shop. Oh, not treasure shop, weapon, armor, item store. So, we're able to buy equipment and sell stuff there in our airship. So this is the last big floor with a bunch of treasure. It's all spread out. We're finally going to get a second claw for Tangeweenie, but after equipping both of the claws, it turns out that the claws are actually reduce her attack power. So she'll just stay barehanded. It's just like the monks in Final Fantasy 1. It tends to be a little bit better after a certain point barehanded, as opposed to using weapons. So here you can see these Azraels. They are splitting. When they call in a new ally, the new ally comes with a full hit points. So they have 1,100 hit points, all the new ones that appeared. Now if we say we hit one of them for like 600 damage, and there was room in the field, there could be up to 6 monsters, what would happen is the new one would appear with 500 hit points. But we want to try to avoid hitting them and making them split as much as possible. Now I'm not worried about hitting them right now because doesn't matter what damage we do to them, because they're not going to split, because there's not enough room. So luckily, with a few cheers, Fang is able to take out one of them on her own, and potentially with a boosted attack, Tangeweenie and maybe Tupelo can gang up and take one out. And so you could use some of those black magic items that we picked up. Now they're only level 2 items, like the bomb arms and the Antarctic winds, so they're not going to do too much damage, but it won't necessarily cause them to split. So we took out one here. Like I said, the good thing is that when they split, if you've already done damage to them, the new one that comes in is going to have the hit points of the remaining hit points. They're going to come in fresh. But the bad thing is, these enemies, they keep multiplying, but they don't give like any experience. So yeah, this is going to be a long battle. But we're not going to get a lot of experience out of it. So each one we defeat only gives us 320 experience, and so not very good way to grind. They fixed that up a little bit in the where the enemies give full experience in the next game, Final Fantasy IV. Enemies that like multiply or call other enemies, they still give full experience, or they still give experience based on you know, how tough they are. So you actually farm enemies. There's an interesting little trick that you have. It's called the life glitch. Basically, if you have a character cast a life spell on an enemy, and then the enemy is defeated, the life spell will revive the enemy with 0 hit points, and you basically like defeat the enemy twice. You get double the experience. So that's how a lot of the speed runs they don't rely on heavy glitches. Max their party out, or not necessarily max, but get their party to the necessary levels they need to be to finish the game. Luckily, once we get the airship, Invincible, we'll be able to get to that other town, and we'll be able to start using the Dark Knight class. The Dark Knight class uses dark swords, and when they hit an enemy, will not cause them to split. The interesting thing is, though, is the Dark Knight class in this game, it uses white magic, low-level white magic. So in a sense, they're like the Paladin class in the next game, which is sort of like the Knight class in this game, where they auto cover for allies that are have low hit points. And so yeah, they kind of switched it out a little bit. So. But finally, we defeated that group. Woohoo! And remember, we'll have to go into our form command and move everybody back into their rows that they should be in. Because whenever you use it in the battle, it remains that way afterwards. So Fang, Tupelo, Tangeweenie all in the back row, and Baby Moo is in the front row. So I totally forgot to do that, but I did that after that battle there. Ran into some more of those zombie dragons. We can get some black belt gear here, but unfortunately it's all stuff that we already got. So that black belt gear, we're going to get a chakra headband, and we're going to get some new claws. But like I said, we'll see that the claws actually reduce Tangeweenie's attack power. So yeah, no use putting them on. Claws don't do that in the next game, Final Fantasy IV. They don't. Most claws don't give any attack power at all, but they do give like status bonuses or like monster bonuses. So you get like fire claws, ice claws, lightning claws that deal extra damage to enemies weak against those elements. Then there's like fairy claws that deal extra damage to ogre type enemies. There's quite a few. There's fairy claws right there. So it always behooves you in Final Fantasy IV to equip claws. But yeah, even with the second claw, you see her attack power is down a few points. So we'll just stick with the bare hands. And then we're going to head up there to the northeast and start heading down further. Now, luckily the remainder of the dungeon is pretty small. There's a lot of floors, but they're very tiny, and they're pretty much straight shots. I guess the game is just making it like that, making it nice and easy for us, because the enemies, like I said, are really, really annoying. We're basically running into all splitting enemies from here on out. So, but mainly just those Azraels right now. And there is one shortcut coming up. It's not a big shortcut, but hey, any less steps we can take, the better. So, there's right here, we can walk right through that wall, right there. I don't know how to do the spicy nacho glitch. Apparently, like, all the encounters are, you know, the numbers that determine the counters in this game, it's all fixed. So, like, when people do speedruns in this game, like the non-glitch speedruns, they know exactly how many steps they're going to take to beat an encounter. And you can reset the encounter variable by using a potion, using white magic, or if there's a lake or a body of water, you can do this, like, glitch. They call it, like, the spicy nacho glitch, after, I guess, the guy who invented it. Like, that was his Twitch handle. Or his gamer handle. And you basically tap up an A at the water, like, a certain frame, and whatchamacallit, it'll reset the encounter. So, but I don't know how to do it, because, like I said, I'm not a speedrunner or do anything like that. Well, I speedrun like 2 games, but it's not like a thing that I do. I usually just like to game here for fun and to, you know, honor little baddies, so. So you have the Valafor's hit points up there for a while, their stats. Now the Haniel's, that's the two-headed worm back there. So we're finally getting hit stats. So basically, if it says weak versus dark sword, basically that's a splitting enemy. It's not necessarily that they're weak to dark swords and then they'll take more damage to dark swords. It's just that the dark swords will not cause that split to happen. You can also, one thing you could do to prevent enemies from splitting is that split is actually considered a spell. And if you silence an enemy, the enemy won't split because they can't cast a spell because they're silenced. So that's another thing to do, but if you're running, like, so this might be a good place to have, like, white mage and black mages back in your party. Because you can silence with the white mage, black mage can hit with the black magic to avoid the splits. But like I said, I wanted to show off all the different all the different characters. So I just figured that I'll just I'll just keep these characters in. It might be a little tougher to beat some of these enemies, but we'll be able to get through them. So. Besides, we didn't want, on the next job that we're going to get, the next crystal that we're going to get, the Earth Crystal, it's going to give basically upgraded magic classes, 3 upgraded magic classes. The Summoner, which is an upgraded Evoker, the Magus, which is an upgraded Black Wizard, and then the Devout, which is an upgraded White Wizard. So we're going to get to see kind of those classes again a little bit, so. Basically, they're able to use, they have a little bit better stat growth, and they can use a little bit more equipment and high-level spells. Basically, like in Final Fantasy 1, the change from a white mage to a black mage, to a white mage to a white mage to a white wizard, black mage to a black wizard, red mage to a red wizard, where they get increased armor and spell casting abilities. But in that game, they don't get different stat growths. But in this one, the characters do get a little bit better growths. So, with the upgraded classes. Okay, only 560 experience for all those enemies that we defeated, so... we're going through a lot of these high potions again. But like I said, we don't really have much else to spend money on. Not until we get to that secret extra dungeon, Eureka. That's where Doger's out. He's trying to get the key to the Eureka. That's the Forbidden Land where special weapons have been sealed. So here's our last kind of new enemies in this area. The Silenus are the lizards with the swords, and the Gap are the bug. He looks like a little Cthulhu beetle squid hybrid monster. So, as always, annoying. But thankfully, Fang's pretty strong, and is able to one-shot, and if not, be very close to one-shotting. So the hope is that Fang could, if Fang doesn't one-shot, somebody else can come in and deal enough damage before the character does its movement splits. So let's see if we can take out these guys here. Finish them off. A little less hit points than the Gaps. Although they do have, they do look scarier. Big swords. Although the swords they have are, for the most part, they look like the gold swords that we got in Goldor's Manor. We know the gold swords in Goldor's Manor were pretty terrible swords. They were just basically there to give us a whole bunch of money so we can buy a whole bunch of new equipment for those new job classes that we got. We'll be swinging by more later. Well, not necessarily stopping at more, but we'll be swinging by more later because we were told that the Earth Fang is in a cave north of Amor. Yeah, to the east of where those statues were, there were some mountain ranges there. We couldn't really do anything with those mountain ranges, but once we get the airship Invincible, we'll be able to pass through those mountain ranges. We'll actually see how the Invincible, flies over mountains in a little bit here, so... But here we are, we end up in the airship Invincible. Okay, take the helm, and off we go. And we're gonna end up in, the ocean, to the, east of Amor. So you kind of got to go west and north or west and south to kind of hit land again. This would be a good place if we were to get those gnome breads to cast the gnome breads, or if you had your white mage, you can cast the sight spell. But I didn't, so listen up. The stairs behind us take us to the overworld. To board the ship again, stand in the shadow and press the A button. Unei is going to give us a tour here of the entire airship. So the A button can also be used to make the ship rise over mountains. Follow me. And one of the interesting things about the airship Invincible is that it, this is like a vending machine. Exchange gear for items, you can get strong weapons. Is that it can land anywhere because it doesn't really land, it just hovers over the ground. I also summoned a fat chocobo back there. Come on out. Yeah, we got a chocobo there. We got a free inn back there. We'll be taking advantage of all of this stuff. But unfortunately, Unei is about to leave. Doga's calling me. You have to leave? Yes. I trust you to do the rest yourselves. Get the Earth Fang from the Cave of Shadows north of Amor, then return to Doga's Manor. So yeah, we're gonna have to, unfortunately, get back our Nautilus ship again. Good luck seeing Doga's Manor. Bye. Because remember, we need to pass through those really fast headwinds, and the Invincible can't pass through them. The Invincible's only good for getting over a bunch of the high mountains. So we can sell a bunch of this stuff here. We can sell a bunch of stuff. We're gonna go back and sell to those vending machines. We'll end up taking out some items then from that for the Jack Chocobo. Also fill up on our high potions here, and just in case we don't have a white mage, we'll just grab some auto shrooms for the exit spells, because there's going to be a few dungeons we're going to be going through shortly, so. Mostly all diamond gear. When we get those new classes, the Magus Devote and the Summoner, we can buy that gear for them. So, we've got some strong weapons there, strong arrows and stuff. We'll actually be using the Ranger class coming up soon. We might buy some of those spells as well when we get the new the Magus class, so they can do some damage. We'll probably return to Dogra's village to do that, though. Let's just sleep here, because that's where we can pretty much get most of the spells that we need. So, let's heal up. Yeah, we're going to go back to the Ranger class for the Cave of Darkness, because there's a lot of splitting enemies in there, and if we have the Ranger can turn those enemies into stone with the Medusa arrows. And they tend to be very susceptible to petrification. So, yeah, for the most part, usually every time you hit them with an arrow, they'll turn to stone. So, it's a good way to, I guess, have, whatchamacallit, some, another offensive character. So we're just going to fly to the west and north, and eventually we'll hit land again. Hey, here we go. There is Dogra's village. So we're basically in the middle of the map, so we have to go to the west and a little north. And if we head over this way, at this point where the land is, if we head straight up, maybe just a little bit over more to the west a little bit, we run into Duster. That was the village of the bards and geomancers, and from there we just head west some more, and we're going to get to this area where the Salonia is, and near Salonia there's a little passageway that we kind of went by before, and we can hop over these little squares of mountains. These are things that the Invincible, like I said, you don't land it, you just hover over somewhere. So yeah, you can stop over forests, you can stop over lakes, so another chocobo thing. Also the Invincible, it's the sprite from the Dreadnought from the last game, which is the Emperor's ultimate weapon that we had to destroy. Here we have another village. What's the village name? We'll find out in the next episode when we stop in there, pick up some new equipment for the Dark Knight class. Take care, see you then. Bye.